All right, let's just dive right in. Today, we are going to try and decode a fundamental human mystery, the science of popularity. Why are some people just social magnets? They draw everyone in so effortlessly, while the rest of us, well, sometimes we struggle, right? This is a question that follows us all the way from the playground to the boardroom, and the answer, as it turns out, is literally hardwired into our biology. So just think about it for a second. Why are some people social magnets? We've all seen them, we've all known them. They walk into a room and you can just feel the energy shift. It honestly seems like magic, doesn't it? Like some kind of innate talent they were just born with. But what if I told you it's not magic at all? What if it's a learnable, understandable science? That's the big question we're digging into. I want you to take a little mental trip back with me, just for a second. Picture your high school cafeteria. You're holding your tray, you're scanning that loud, kind of chaotic room, and right there, in the dead center, is that table, the cool table. They're laughing, they seem so confident, and it feels like there's this invisible magnetic field pulling all the attention towards them. Everyone is either looking at them or trying really, really hard not to look at them. That feeling, that whole dynamic, it's something we've all experienced. Okay, now let's fast forward to today. Picture your office, or maybe just your group of friends. There's always that one person. Let's just call them Dave. Now, Dave isn't the boss, he's not the loudest person, maybe not even the best at his job. But when Dave speaks, people actually listen. When there's a happy hour, the first question everyone asks is, hey, is Dave gonna be there? He just fits. He moves between groups with this incredible natural ease. He's the adult version of that kid at the center table. So we look at people like Dave, and our default is to think they have some special gift, some unexplainable X factor or charisma that the rest of us just missed out on. But that's a total myth. The truth is, popularity isn't magic. It's a biological mechanism, a survival strategy that's deeply, deeply coded in our brains. And here's what's so fascinating. There are actually two completely different kinds of popularity, and most of us, without even realizing it, are chasing the wrong one. And this brings us right to the core idea for today, the popularity paradox. The whole argument is that the reason so many of us struggle socially is because we're playing the wrong game. We're confusing two really powerful and often opposite forces, the drive for status versus the need for likability. This slide just breaks it down perfectly. Okay, so on the left, you've got status. Think of this as what we perceive as popularity. It's built on things like dominance, being visible, having power, commanding attention, sometimes even through a little bit of fear. But on the right, you have likability. Scientists call this sociometric popularity. This isn't about power at all. It's all about connection. It's built on warmth, on trust, and on making other people feel genuinely safe and seen. So here's the problem. Our modern world, and especially social media, is relentlessly pushing us toward the left side of that chart. Our culture is absolutely obsessed with status. We measure our own worth in likes, in views, in followers. We've basically been trained to believe that being visible is the same as being valued, that being well-known is the same thing as being well-loved. But this constant chase, it creates an incredible amount of stress because keeping up your status is this exhausting, never-ending competitive game. And this quote, wow, it just perfectly captures the tragedy of prioritizing status over real connection. You can spend your whole life climbing this ladder of influence and visibility only to get to the very top and realize you're completely alone. The hunt for status, by its very nature, can isolate you. But the pursuit of likability, well, that does the exact opposite. So why do we get so caught up in this trap? Why does status feel so good in the moment, and why does rejection feel so unbelievably awful? To get that, we need to look under the hood. We've got to explore the actual hardware in our brains that's driving all of our social behaviors. Let's start with the pain. So check this out. Neuroscientists put people inside an fMRI scanner, a brain scanner, and had them play this simple virtual ball tossing game. And something amazing happened. The moment the other virtual players suddenly stopped throwing the ball to the participant, a very specific part of their brain lit up like a Christmas tree, the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex, or DACC for short. This, scientists now know, is the brain's dedicated social pain center. And here is the absolutely crucial point. The DAC is the exact same region of the brain that processes physical pain. Just let that sink in. To your brain, being left out of a group chat feels startlingly similar to stubbing your toe or even breaking your leg. Evolutionarily, this makes total sense. For our ancestors, getting kicked out of the tribe was a literal death sentence.
So nature gave us this powerful, painful alarm system to make sure we do whatever it takes to stay connected.
Okay, so that's the pain side. Now let's look at the flip side, the reward. When you get that notification, that like, or when you say something clever and the whole room laughs, your brain gives you a little treat. It releases a chemical called dopamine. And this happens in a region called the ventral striatum, which is basically the command center of your brain's reward circuit. This is the pleasure engine that keeps us hunting for status. And this is where it gets a little scary. That little fleeting buzz you get from a social media notification, it's processed in the very same neural pathway that responds to sugar, to cocaine, and to the thrill of gambling. Status is quite literally addictive. Our brains can get hooked on these tiny little hits of social validation, and it can cause us to completely neglect the deeper, more meaningful connections we actually need. But true likability, genuine connection, it runs on a completely different chemical system. When you share a vulnerable moment, when you help someone out, or when someone just shows you genuine warmth, both of your brains release oxytocin. People call it the bonding hormone. It doesn't give you that short, sharp high like dopamine. Instead, it builds these lasting feelings of trust and safety and calm. It actually reduces fear. You could almost think of it like this. Dopamine says more for me, while oxytocin says more for us.
Okay, so we've covered the theory, we've covered the neuroscience. Now let's bring all this out of the lab and into the real world. How do these two systems, the dopamine-fueled status system and the oxytocin-fueled likability system, actually show up in the people we meet every single day? Let's explore some archetypes you'll probably recognize.
Here we have two classic examples. On the left, there's the high school peak. Oh, we all know this person. They were the king or queen of the school, and they relied entirely on status, dominance, excluding people, always being the center of attention. But those skills, they often become maladaptive in the adult world. A boss values cooperation, not high school drama. Then on the right, you've got the quiet glue. This is the person who has genuine likability. They make other people feel safe. They foster cooperation. Their skills aren't just useful, they're durable, and they become more and more valuable over time. Let's make this even more personal. Have you ever sent a text to a group chat, you see that little read by everyone receipt pop up, and then just silence? And for a split second, you feel this hot wave of panic or shame just wash over you. You start rereading your text like, was that dumb? Did I offend someone? What did I do? That feeling? That's your ancient DACC, your social pain system, firing off a false alarm. It's a glitch in the matrix. Your Stone Age brain is literally screaming, the tribe is rejecting you. You are gonna die alone. Even though in reality, it's just a text about weekend plans. Understanding this neuroscience can give you the power to recognize that feeling for what it is, a biological echo, not a modern reality.
Okay, so now for the most important part. We've diagnosed the problem, we understand the science behind it, so how do we fix it? How do we consciously shift our focus away from the empty calories of status to the nourishing full meal of likability? Well, here's a practical 5-step prescription grounded in all this research.
So this slide lays out 5 really powerful keys to building likability. Let's walk through them. First, shift from impressing to connecting. This just means changing your internal question from how can I seem cool to what makes them interesting. It's about being genuinely curious. Second, practice the pratfall effect. Research shows that people who are highly competent become more likable after they make a small, relatable mistake. It shows you're human. Third, be a mood usher. Your emotions are contagious. You can bring anxiety into a room or you can bring warmth. Likable people make others feel good. Fourth is mastering capitalization. We'll zoom in on that one in a sec. And fifth, avoid the zero-sum trap. Status is zero-sum. For me to win, you have to lose. Likability is a positive-sum game. We can all win together. All right, let's deep dive on that fourth point, capitalization, because this one is a game changer. It's all about how you react to someone else's good news. So let's say a friend tells you they got a promotion. A passive response is just cool. A destructive response is pointing out the negative, like, wow, isn't that going to be a ton of extra work? But an active, constructive response, that's where the magic is. You stop what you're doing, you look them in the eye, and you amplify their joy. That is incredible. You totally deserve it. How did they tell you? When do you start? This shows you're on their team, not competing with them, and it's a massive, massive deposit in the bank of likability. So as we wrap this all up, I want to reframe this entire idea of what it even means to be popular, or to be cool. We've spent this whole time deconstructing the myth, and now it's time to build a new, much healthier definition.
And this right here, this is the ultimate takeaway. The entire game of status is about creating a vertical hierarchy. It's about putting yourself above other people. But true, lasting popularity, the kind that actually leads to a longer, healthier, happier life, is about creating a horizontal connection. It's not about being better than, it's about being with. It's about making other people feel seen and safe and valued.
So I want to leave you with this final thought to take with you. Think for a moment about the most genuinely likable person you know. Not the most famous or the most powerful, but the person whose presence just makes you feel good. What is it that they do? How do they use their words, their attention, their energy to make you and everyone else around them feel truly seen? The answer to that question, well, that's the real secret to popularity.